Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So if you've been around this channel for a little while, you'll probably have heard me say many times by now that Tesla has won the decade. At this point in time, I think that's obvious to everybody with a functioning brain. And in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to two very recent, extremely bullish pieces of news relating to Tesla and their future dominance. The first is Tesla outright rejecting over $1 billion US in free money. Now you might think, hang on, why is this bullish? Well, we'll get to that in this video. The second is Tesla's announcement of an enormous expansion, and a very rapid one, in Shanghai. Both pieces of bullish news broke while the stock market was closed, so Tesla stock hasn't yet had an opportunity to react to either of these extremely bullish pieces of news. And truth be told, the stock market can be fairly brain dead, at least over the short term, so who knows how the stock will react, if at all. But I can tell you I personally have reacted. I've posted an update to my Tesla valuation model and delivery estimates, which have flowed through to all of my Tesla stock price targets in the bear case, the base case and the bull case from 2022 all the way out to 2031. If you don't already have access to those, check out the card in the corner or the link in the description to Patreon. All supporters gain access to my up-to-date price targets, and everybody at the investor tier and above can also access my Tesla valuation model. The point is, this news is extremely bullish for Tesla, and in this video I'll explain exactly why. So with that said, let's get into it. If you love crypto, stocks, and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. BlockFi are launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously. Free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it. So first of all, let's talk about Tesla just rejecting over $1 billion in free money, why this is bullish, and what this means for the future of the company. So here we are over on the Financial Times website, and before we read this article, I just want to share a few thoughts. I do not know whether or not this reporting is absolutely accurate. I think there's a lot of conjecture here, a lot of assumptions that may not be aligned with reality. I'll share my thoughts later, but I just wanted to point this out. I don't necessarily agree with the reasoning or follow the logic in this article. We'll read on a little bit and you guys and girls will understand where I'm coming from. Quote, Tesla forced to turn down $1.1 billion in support for German battery plant. Delays to factory near Berlin meant carmaker was unable to meet European state aid conditions. Tesla has been forced to turn down more than 1.1 billion euros in European subsidies for its planned battery plant near Berlin after delays to the flagship project breached a key condition of the funding. The electric car maker had applied for the money through an EU program established to develop the battery industry on the continent. The EU requires any sites in receipt of the funds to be the first industrial deployment of the technology, according to official documents, meaning the batteries cannot already be made at another Tesla plant. So there's a couple of points that I want to address here. The first, of course, is the idea that the German plant was to be the first, quote, industrial deployment of this battery technology, but due to the bullshit, the red tape and the bureaucracy, shout out to trying to get anything done in any reasonable time frame in Germany, the embarrassing, shameful, bureaucratic, red tape encrusted, unnecessary delays to Tesla's Berlin gigafactory now mean that the Austin factory is likely to begin ramping the 4680 cells first. So I see where the article is coming from here. There's just a couple of problems, and I'm not really one to want to jump to conclusions until I have sufficient information. Forgetting about Tesla's Cato Road pilot plant facility, which in my opinion is already producing 4680 cells at an industrial scale. Tesla had already been approved to receive this money. Let's think about this for a moment. Is Tesla's Austin factory currently producing 4680 cells? As far as we know, it's not. At some point in the future, definitely, but not quite yet. So there's that. Now the second thing to think about, is it reasonable if a company has been approved for this $1 billion+ of free money and then their factory's construction and operation has been significantly delayed by unnecessary bureaucratic red tape bullshit? Do you really think the German government's going to go, hey Tesla, you know that $1 billion, guess what? You're not getting it anymore because we f***ed you in the ass while your factory was being constructed and now it's going to be late opening. Personally, if I were a betting man, I would be betting on the fact that Tesla would still have been entitled to the subsidies. Not their fault, slight delay, still to be the first facility. Why penalise Tesla because they're moving so fast that they're simultaneously building another facility that will ultimately have the same technology? If they get approved for the funding, they're approved for the funding, they're entitled to the funding, the fucking end. Stay tuned because I'll talk more about this in a moment. But legal challenges to the construction of the plant, which will produce cars first before making batteries, have delayed its opening by several months. That means the company, whose valuation hit $1 trillion earlier this year, is likely to begin producing the same batteries elsewhere sooner. German government confirmed on Friday that Tesla was no longer seeking the subsidies, but declined to comment further. Quote, Tesla is sticking to its plans for the battery factory, said the German economics minister, adding that the, quote, state subsidies not used by Tesla are now available for other projects. Tesla's chief executive Elon Musk has already voiced his valid frustration at the slow progress of the plant and has called for German bureaucracy to be streamlined. Good luck. I'm sure that there'll be a meeting about having a meeting about having a meeting about having a meeting about toning down and streamlining the bureaucracy in Germany. Stay tuned for that. Employees at the plant are also due to elect a workers' council within days, potentially handing them power to delay or reject management decisions. In response to a question on Twitter, Musk replied on Friday, quote, it has always been Tesla's view that all subsidies should be eliminated, but that must include the massive subsidies for oil and gas. So I have a hunch, and that's all it is. I don't have any evidence or inside information here, but I have a hunch as to why Tesla has actually rejected these subsidies. Given the fact that Tesla was already approved for these subsidies, I don't personally think any delays, any of the red tape getting in the way of the factory opening would have affected this, okay? It was already approved. This was based on the factory opening on time. It ain't Tesla's fault. This is what I personally think the situation was. Now, I could be wrong, but this is my hunch. I personally believe that the reason that Tesla has since rejected this $1+ billion in free money is because Tesla is swinging around their gigantic engineering lead, their technological lead, and their financial strength. I personally believe that Tesla doesn't want anyone to have them by the balls, not even slightly. Tesla doesn't need $1 billion. I mean, $1 billion sounds like a lot. Most people watching would be happy to have $1 billion and think it's quite a sum of money. But Tesla is printing multiple billions of dollars of net profit every single quarter and will continue to do so for the rest of the history of the company. So I suspect what's happened here is Tesla realizing the fact that they're making so much money, it's obscene at this point in time, and this is going to continue to increase over time, has decided, you know what, $1 billion, sure, it'd be nice, but guess what? We don't need it. Take it back. Give it to somebody else who actually does need it. In my opinion, Tesla has made this decision from a position of absolute strength and dominance. Just imagine for a moment being a business, being approved for $1 billion+ of free money, and then going, you know what, we don't even want it. Give it to somebody else. Now, I know there's a bunch of people who are going to say, Stephen, you're an idiot, man. Obviously, the factory wasn't going to be built in time, therefore they have to give the money back. You're so stupid. I understand where you're coming from. This may actually be true, but let's just think about this for a moment. This still illustrates what an incredible position of strength and dominance Tesla is in. Why? Well, obviously, if they really didn't want to lose out on this $1 billion of free money, they could simply have delayed the production of the 4680 cells in Austin. Remember, Tesla's plan in Berlin was to start production with 2170 cells, then eventually replace them with 4680 cells. Tesla could do the exact same thing in Austin as Berlin. It really makes no difference. So obviously, if Tesla really needed or wanted this incentive, they could tweak a few dials and suddenly they'd be eligible. I personally don't think this is the reason why Tesla has declined this incentive. Instead, as I mentioned, I think Tesla just A, doesn't want anyone to have them by the balls, not even slightly. And second of all, this is a way for Tesla to flex on the entire industry. There's also a third piece of the puzzle which I want to discuss now. I think another potential reason as to why Tesla has decided to reject this $1 billion+ of free money is because of the optics. Think about how things will look at the end of this decade when most German automakers have gone bankrupt because Tesla has eaten their lunch. If members of the press dig up the fact that the German government paid Tesla $1 billion of free money to help destroy the entire German automotive industry, it's probably not going to look good, and I don't think Tesla wants to find themselves in that situation at the end of the decade. And then finally, there's Tesla's mission statement, which is, after all, to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, not to slow it down or impede it. I think there was probably a little bit of thought within Tesla, you know what, we don't really need the money. This might actually make a meaningful impact on some of these other automakers surviving a little bit longer into the decade before they inevitably go bankrupt. We don't need the money, they definitely do, so hey, let's give it back. No matter which way you slice it, this is extremely bullish and shows what a position of strength and dominance Tesla are in. And just finally, a tweet from Elon Musk addressing Tesla's rejection of this $1+ billion of free money. Quote, we learned our lesson with the $465 million Department of Energy loan received in 2010/11. Onerous terms exceed value of money received. That's why we paid it back so early, despite an early repayment penalty. So it seems like Elon Musk didn't exactly like anyone having Tesla by the balls, Tesla paying back this loan early with a massive penalty for doing so. I think this adds further weight to my idea here that it was Tesla's decision not to accept this $1 billion of free money. Again, I don't know for sure, but the pieces of the puzzle, the breadcrumbs, seem to be suggesting that Tesla was eligible and it was their decision to go, you know what, we don't need the money, take it back, bitches. Now onto more unequivocally bullish news, Tesla's massive expansion in Shanghai. Here we are over on the Reuters website. Tesla to invest $188 million to expand Shanghai factory capacity. Tesla plans to invest $187.91 million to expand production capacity at its Shanghai factory that will allow it to employ 4,000 more people at the site, state-backed Beijing daily newspaper reported on Friday. The newspaper attributed the information to a Shanghai government platform for companies' environmental information disclosures. Filings showed that expansion will allow Tesla to add 4,000 staff, taking the number of people the plant can employ to 19,000. There will be no change to the models the factory currently produces, according to the filing, which also did not specify how much production capacity will be increased. Spoiler alert, the increase is going to be huge. We'll discuss this more in a moment. Tesla's Shanghai factory was designed to make up to 500,000 cars a year. Well, that's what they told us. And currently has the capacity to produce Model 3 and Model Y vehicles at a rate of 450,000 total units a year. This is not true. Based on the last few months of data out of Shanghai, we know that the factory has been producing around 55,000 vehicles per month. Let's do some really rough numbers here just to get a sense of the annualized rate of production at Shanghai currently. We're looking at around 660,000 vehicles per year, give or take, significantly above the quoted 450,000 and well in excess of the supposed 500,000 vehicles per year of production capacity. Now, how is this possible? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Tesla continues to find new ways to do more with less. They continually delete parts and processes, meaning from the same factory footprint, they can produce more vehicles over time. To those familiar with Tesla, this should be a no-brainer, but many people don't seem to understand this about the company. Every factory today, even if it's already at its maximum production capacity over time, will continue to find new capacity even without expanding, because Tesla is going to find new ways to manufacture vehicles using less factory footprint, less parts, less robots, less processes. Tesla is a never-ending, constant optimization machine. So I personally think that the current footprint of Tesla's Shanghai factory, without any additional expansion, next year will have the capacity alone to produce at least 700,000, maybe 750,000 plus vehicles without the new expansion. Oh, and spoiler alert, you know Fremont? Yep, that factory, guess what? Production capacity at Fremont is also going to continue to increase over time. I've been modeling Fremont eventually getting to 1 million vehicles over the long term. A lot of people saw my valuation model and thought, what the fuck, dude, how high are you? But then I explain exactly why. The reason is quite simple. Tesla continuing to optimize, redefine manufacturing, delete parts and processes, delete robots, delete people, delete everything they possibly can, meaning out of the same footprint in factory, they produce significantly more vehicles. So the announcement that Tesla is actually going to be investing almost $200 million for an additional expansion of the Shanghai factory is massive news. Of course, we don't have exact numbers here, but based on the number of employees, increasing efficiency, some of the established facilities already at Shanghai not needing to be rebuilt in proportion, I personally believe that this production expansion is going to allow Tesla ultimately to produce 1+ million vehicles from Shanghai. And to be clear, I don't mean over the long term. I was always expecting 1 million+ vehicles from Shanghai long term. I mean in the very near term. I'm talking within just a couple of years. In fact, by the end of 2022, the end of next year, Tesla's Shanghai production capacity could be in excess of 1 million units. And keep in mind, in the entire year of 2021, as I'm recording this, Tesla's global deliveries will fall short of 1 million units. This is an absolutely insane rate of expansion and growth in production capacity. News outlets have been reporting that this expansion will begin in December 2021 and be finished by April 2022. This means that the expansion will have the better part of a year to begin ramping up production. Is it possible that this expansion at Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory will ultimately produce a $25,000 Tesla? Definitely possible, but in my opinion, I actually think that Tesla's going to need a much larger site. In fact, a site that's multiple times larger than their current Shanghai Gigafactory to produce this vehicle. I expect Tesla's $25,000 vehicle will sell many millions of units per year. I think the most likely scenario here actually is that this is just going to increase Model Y capacity. As a result of this news, I've massively increased my Tesla 2022 vehicle deliveries, which is part of my Tesla valuation model. This, of course, has had a huge knock-on effect to all of my Tesla stock price targets, bear case, base case, bull case, all the way from 2022 out to 2031. If you guys want access to my price targets, check out the card in the corner or the link in the description to join Patreon. You'll gain access to those, plus a ton of exclusive content and a bunch of perks. And of course, supporters at the investor tier and above can also access my valuation model directly. Download that. It includes all of my production estimates out till 2031. Just a little bit of a spoiler here. My Tesla price target in the bull case scenario for 2022 is more than a doubling from where we are today. I now have Tesla delivering about 825,000 vehicles just out of Shanghai next year. And my 2022 bull case for Tesla delivery is now at 1.775 million units. Obviously, Austin and Berlin are now the two major wildcards in terms of Tesla's 2022. Depending on how quickly they can ramp production of the Model Y vehicles, which are the first vehicle they'll be ramping at both facilities, there's going to be a major impact on Tesla's total deliveries and of course their financial results. As usual, I am way ahead of Wall Street with my estimates for Tesla. Of course, I have a terrible track record and they're all geniuses who've been right about Tesla for years, so don't pay any attention to me. So I hope you guys and girls have enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you personally also think that Tesla rejected this $1 billion+ of free money not because they were forced to, they became ineligible because of the ramp of the Berlin factory being delayed, but Tesla instead made the decision from a position of strength and outright rejected the money because, well, they don't need it? And what do you guys and girls think about Tesla's announcement of a Shanghai factory expansion, which is going to massively increase their already growing production capacity in China? And just finally, leave your guess below for exactly how many vehicles Tesla will produce from their Shanghai facility throughout the entire year of 2022. One more thing actually, I'll never pass up on the opportunity to deservingly roast somebody who in the past has said something incredibly dumb, bordering on moronic about Tesla that has proven to be completely and utterly incorrect. Now, I don't have any personal vendetta against this so-called journalist. I only know of this person through a very narrow lens of Tesla. Everything I've ever seen this person write or say about Tesla and Elon Musk has been extremely negative, pessimistic, anti-Tesla. It almost appears like this person hates themselves and projects their self-hatred onto Elon Musk. Of course, I could be hallucinating, but in either case, let the roasting begin.
Unfortunately, Tesla is also known for not meeting those goals. Elon Musk said that there is going to be Model 3s manufactured from the China plant by the end of 2019. So far, the China plant is basically an open field with some digging going on. It's harder and harder to believe that there will be Model 3s coming out of the Tesla China Gigafactory by the end of the year.
Boy, that aged well. Not only did Tesla commence production of vehicles at their Shanghai facility in 2019, as expected, as planned, as intended, despite the expert opinion of this so-called journalist, but about 2 years later and we know that the factory is now producing well in excess of 650,000 vehicles per year in terms of the annualized rate, and by the end of next year we're looking at a production capacity well in excess of 1 million units per year. So I think that there's a valuable lesson here, an important message, and that is, don't bet against Elon. If you'd like to broadcast this extremely important message to those around you, check out the link in the description or the card in the corner to pick up some Don't Bet Against Elon merch, shirts, mugs, hoodies, long sleeves, phone cases, you name it, it's available. It's a very important message. Please do your bit to spread the word. Maybe it might save a few dum-dums that you know from making embarrassing comments that the internet never forgets. Although, what am I going to do if people stop saying dumb shit about Tesla? Don't forget to join Patreon with the link in the description if you want access to my up-to-date price targets and or my Tesla valuation model. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Stephen Mike Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. PS, if you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.